Hey, I'm Matt Manny. Thanks so much for joining me for today's devotional thought. Today, we are talking about the most impressive and expensive mansion ever built. If you could build and design your very own dream home, what would it be like? Would you have lots of property, lots of rooms, lots of spaces? Would your home be an open concept so you could have lots of friends and guests into your home? What would your dream home look like? Well, for one billionaire, Mukesh Ambani, a wealthy oil tycoon from India, he built his dream home in downtown Mumbai, India. The 400,000 square foot home took 4 years to build. It's 27 stories tall. It's a skyscraper, actually. It's $2 billion in worth, and no two floors are alike. He has custom sinks for each bathroom in the shape of a ginkgo leaf, which are native to India. The first 6 floors of the home are used for a parking garage. The lobby area has, on the 7th floor, hosts 9 elevators and a ballroom with 80% of the ceilings covered in crystal chandeliers, if you can imagine that. A short walk out the terraced atrium opens into a 4-story area with flowers and plants. It's basically like the Garden of Eden. He's got a movie theater, he's got a swimming pool, yoga studio, and for those of you who are adventurous enough and want to go skiing, he even has a man-made ski slope in his home, if you can imagine that. With a home like that, you never want to take a vacation. And yet we find Jesus is sitting with his disciples around a dinner table having a final talk before his final hours, before he goes to the cross, before he's crucified. And he wanted to prepare them for what was to come. His departure from them, he wanted to prepare them for what was to take place next. And so he tells them that he was leaving them and that he was going to prepare a place for them in John chapter 14, verses 1 through 6. He says, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. If you believe in God, believe me, that in my Father's house are many mansions, and I go and prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I'm going to come again and invite you, take you, usher you back home, to heaven, to your mansion in heaven, if you will." The encouragement for us is this. Jesus says, because where I am, I want you to be there with me. So maybe it's not going to be a 27-story skyscraper in heaven that we're promised, but the best part of our heavenly home is that we'll be with Jesus. We'll be in his presence. This is the promise of a home in heaven. Our scripture is taken from John chapter 14, verses 1 through 3. Thanks so much for joining me today.